Zimbabwe's powerful army chief has issued a rare warning. General Constantino Chiwenga has called on those responsible for purging the country's ruling ZANU-PF to stop. The intervention comes just a week after President Robert Mugabe sacked his deputy, Emmerson Mnangagwa. The general made the comment in a video statement. He has not named anyone though. Chiwenga says he won't tolerate the removal of anyone who fought in Zimbabwe's struggle for independence. Let's get you more now on that story. I'm joined live from Harare by correspondent Farai Mokutuya. Farai, just how powerful is General Constantino Chiwenga, and what does it mean when he says the army will step in?
Well, Penina, Constantino Chiwenga, General Chiwenga, is an extremely powerful person in the military. He is the highest ranking soldier. He heads up the combined defense forces of the Army, Air Force, Police and Prison Service. He's well respected. He's a PhD holder, so he's respected within the Army and outside of it. The only other person more powerful than him in military terms is the Commander-in-Chief, who is President Robert Mugabe. It's pretty hard to say what he means exactly by step in. It's quite an ambiguous statement. He didn't say exactly what action that would be, whether it's militarily or by using some of the other state institutions that may be controlled and run by the army. So it's very hard to say how, what action he means exactly by step in. People are still trying to digest and analyze exactly what that threat means when he says the army and the military will step in, Penina.
And has there been any response yet from the presidency or the government?
Penina, no response yet from the presidency, from the government or from the ruling ZANU-PF. All we have heard is that earlier this morning, the ZANU-PF Youth League held a press conference where it denounced General Chiwenga for issuing those threats. It says that the place for the army during times of peace is in the barracks, and that's where General Chiwenga should confine himself. It says that he has no right to decide how ZANU-PF should conduct its politics, who should rule ZANU-PF, and they're not taking too kindly to the fact that he's, making these threats and issuing these sort of ultimatums to the ruling party as well as to the president. So far, that's the response we heard from this increasingly influential youth wing. We expect and will follow up over the coming days for responses from ZANU-PF and indeed the president when he does come out and respond to that statement. Penina.
And Farai, to what extent is the ruling ZANU-PF party facing a crisis?
Well, clearly there are two conflicting and very entrenched parties or units within this party, camps within this party, and the divisions are very distinct. There is this one group that believes that ZANU-PF should be led by people who fought in Zimbabwe's War of Liberation, that is the DNA and the identity of the party, and they feel that it's now being hijacked by counter-revolutionaries, people who have no war credentials, people who belong to a faction that is commonly referred to as Generation 40. They believe in a younger leader, a younger leadership. And so those are the two groups that are in very entrenched positions and are bitterly opposed to each other. What is of concern and causing anxiety amongst ordinary Zimbabweans now is the fact that, the military is now stepping in and being a part, being sucked into these divisions and these factional fights. And once the military steps in, that creates all sorts of anxieties and fears amongst ordinary people. It therefore then means that this crisis or this conflict transcends the ruling party. It now becomes a national crisis because the ramifications and the repercussions, once civil servants like the army, the police and other security agencies are concerned, get involved, it becomes a national crisis. So clearly, ZANU-PF is at this very difficult, very conflicted stage, and the fallout could have repercussions on Zimbabwe as a whole because of the dominance and the influence that this party has. Penina.
Farai Mokutuya, live for us in Harare. Thank you for joining us.